I'd like to take a 5-minute break before we take public comment. Commissioner? We have several speakers in the room who'd like to address the commission. You'll have 1 minute each. When I call your name, there are three microphones. Please come up to the table so we can sort of work efficiently. Jessica Sanchez, Andrew Salamian, and William Babbitt. Yeah. And please give your name before you begin your comments.
Hi, I'm Jessica Sanchez, and I'm here today to advocate for no demolition of the Berry Building because the Berry Building is a great example of neglect by demolition, and it's an issue that's occurring all over the city. And obviously, being a historical cultural monument does not make a building immune, and that does not mean it should be demolished and swept under the rug. There are other issues with other buildings in the city, and to approve the EIR and allow demolition of the Berry Building would pave the way for demolition of other historical cultural monuments that are buildings such as possibly the Marilyn Monroe House, and other historical buildings could be demolished because the developers feel that there is a better plan and having a vacant lot or something of that nature, and that doesn't have anything to do with neglect. So I believe the Berry Building should be saved as an example of how we preserve historical cultural monuments and not tear them down, because this is a city built on culture, and that does not necessarily mean money is created. Thank you.
Can you give your name, please?
Jessica Sanchez.
Good morning. My name is Bill Babbitt. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm a Brentwood resident. I've had a presence in Brentwood for 30 years. I'm a board of directors of the Brentwood Homeowners Association, but I'm speaking as an individual. I'm a retired licensed architect. I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts and Architecture from the Rhode Island School of Design, as well as an MBA in Finance from Columbia University. To say I'm very pro building, with a nod to a famous chant now, build baby build, but not at the expense of our architectural landmarks and not at the expense of significant architecture in our community. Having lived in Brentwood for a long time until it was shut down, I would often go to the Berry Building, Dutton's, and the coffee shop, but I would linger and enjoy the building and its architectural design with its nod to classic architecture. I bring friends who are architects to see the building. Clearly, this is a very valuable piece of land, but also it's a landmark and architecturally significant in the middle of Brentwood's Main Street. Respecting and saving this building, this landmark,
finish your sentence.
Respecting and saving this building will say something about Brentwood and the community, will remain a wonderful place to workshop, visit, and enjoy, remain a treasure, and a potential jewel in the crown or downtown Brentwood. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, Andrew Salamian representing the LA Conservancy. I just want to applaud staff on a really great presentation and report. I don't think this is a difficult decision. I think they made a very strong argument against demolition. You have very narrow findings to make, which every way I look at it, there's no way you can make the findings that the benefits of demolition outweigh the significant and avoidable impacts, and that there's no feasible alternative. The EIR gives 4 alternatives, and they're all feasible in our view. We do think this would set a bad precedent of a developer who doesn't like the alternatives, lets the building go into neglect and then asks for a demolition permit. That the gaslighting, I will say, on the cost of retrofit is kind of crazy, because you can see there's a full TI included in that estimate. So I do just want to ask you to send a strong signal to LADBS. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Robert Blue and Ziggy Kraus Blue. Okay, sorry.
As mentioned before, we have submitted substantial rebuttals since November 2023 to this case file after the EIR was published. Our rebuttals pointed out various sections in the EIR that were flawed, including one that we addressed from the Historic Resources Group analysis, in which they stated that there's no connection between the Berry building, David Berry, and the Call trees. In fact, we submitted with our rebuttal a article from the LA Times that clearly stated differently. It had basically a statement that says the Los Angeles Beautiful projects on San Vicente in Brentwood. That was something that Mrs. Knudsen started way back when, and Mr. Berry's project was to plant Call trees. He was a project manager. So there's one connection. In fact, there was a photograph included in our submissions from 1949 showing David Berry Jr. holding a shovel as he and others planted one of the many Call trees on San Vicente. All that information was not presented to you. So that was one of the many rebuttals we had, but I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Morning. First of all, the
Your name, please.
Robert Blue.
Thank you.
It is not a nuisance property. In the last 13 years, there's only been one police report, according to LAPD West LA Division Senior Lead Officer Matthew Kirk, and that's shown on the second page of our submittal. The economic analysis is flawed. It failed to look at the minimum cost estimate to bring the building into compliance with the soft story ordinance. The estimate was padded with it, including a discussion of ADA compliance for restrooms. The issue, as an example, could be addressed by repurposing the ground floor restroom as a general neutral restroom, which is normally done. The report failed to address any of the grandfathering in permit requirements based on the year the building was built. All the money spent on consulting services and fees for the stretched out CEQA process could have been applied to offset the minimum cost to bring the building into compliance. The applicant has stated their intent to sell. In the staff report, it says that. And the buyer of the building which would be sold with the bundling surrounding properties, could present a project that incorporates a restored Berry building into a new project that serves the community and will be an economic benefit for the city.
Thank you. And I assume there's some hands raised.
Tiana Simpson for the record. We do have callers at this time. Toby, you are now able to speak, please.
Hang on, Ari Brisky for the record, pardon the interruption. It seems like we do have another individual who was hoping to speak in person. Have you submitted a speaker card? Okay, please allow us a moment to sort through here.
Okay. Yes, we do have one more person here. Lauren Cole.
Before I start, I'm here representing the South Brentwood Residents Association, and I'd asked for 2 minutes. Brentwood doesn't have a certified neighborhood council, and I was told because we're not certified, I can't have 2 minutes, but I've come all the way downtown representing our neighborhood group. Is it possible to get 2 minutes?
No.
Okay, be quick then. Lauren Cole, president of South Brentwood Residents Association. We're the neighborhood group that's been around for approximately 50 years that represents South Brentwood from San Vicente to Wilshire and all multifamily buildings in Brentwood. South Brentwood is a walkable community, and we're the group that represents everyone who lives within walking distance of San Vicente. People live in the area because it's walkable, and we have amenities along most of San Vicente. SBRA is strongly in support of demolishing this building. This building has been a blight on our community for about 15 years now, even prior to the Green Hollow Square project. That was a tired property. We were supportive of building a more neighborhood facing and economically viable project there. As you've heard, the building is not seismically sound. We've also heard about it's not ADA compliant. For the last 15, 20 years, it's been vandalized. We have a big safety concern that unhoused individuals will start a fire that will spread to other buildings. And can I also, sorry, one more point. Even when the request was made 20 years ago that the building become historically cultural, it wasn't because of the building. Neighborhood residents had what turned out to be a misguided thought that it would save the independent books, which closed in 2008. So even before
Thank you.
Green Hollow Square. Thank you very much.
Okay. Tiana?
Tiana Simpson for the record. Toby, you are now able to speak. Please press unmute.
Hi, my name is Toby Morishanu. I am a volunteer with Westside for Everyone and a former board member of the South Brentwood Residents Association. I also support demolishing this building. I think there is an overriding concern here. Namely, there's a school nearby that's at 30% of capacity, the Brentwood Science Magnet Elementary School, and it fits the pattern of all over LA. Schools have declining enrollment because families can't afford to live there. I myself no longer live in the area because there were no family-sized apartments available once I had children. So I had to move. But while I lived there, I used to give people tours of Brentwood, and I would point out that when they were standing in front of the Berry building, it was a cultural landmark, and they would laugh because it's ridiculous. It's a small, frankly, ugly building. And there's 1,000 others that look like it in LA. If there's an architectural significance to it, the right way to preserve it is in a book or a website for people who are interested in that sort of thing, where they can see it as it was in its heyday, not as it is now.
Okay, Tiana Simpson for the record. Next caller, Wendy. You are now able to speak. Please press unmute.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. My name is Wendy Rosen, and I actually was chair of the Brentwood Community Council when this building was designated. There was overwhelming support to designate this building, not for the reasons that Lauren Cole just suggested, but because this was a very beautiful and rare example of mid-century modern architecture. This is a very rare example in a business district. This is an absolutely stunning building. Unfortunately, the owner has let it go to neglect, and they have done that so that they can bypass CEQA requirements to actually bring an alternative project that would be viable, and they can sell it for more money with no encumbrance of CEQA review required. I ask that you support the request to not allow the demolition of this incredible building and preserve historic resources and set a precedent showing that the city does value its historic jewels. Thank you.
Next caller, Jean Frost. You are now able to speak. Please press unmute.
Jean Frost. I am here representing the West Adams Heritage Association. I strongly support the staff report that urges you not to adopt a statement of overriding considerations. It certainly is not justified by the facts, and it would set a very negative precedent for historic cultural monuments and the bar with which a statement of overriding considerations could be adopted. This is a really significant act, and the facts do not support such adoption. I also support the comments regarding the trees done by HRG. West Adams Heritage has dozens of cultural monuments, and taking such a step, which is due to really the neglect of the owner and a self-imposed hardship, the statement of overriding considerations ought not to be adopted. Thank you.
Caroline, you are now able to speak. Please press unmute.
Hello, thank you. My name's Carolyn Jordan. I chair the Brentwood Community Council, but I'm here today speaking just as an individual. It is time to put this building out of its misery. It is and has been for quite some time nothing more than an attractive nuisance. It is time to be able to activate this area of San Vicente and bring life back to our small commercial corridor. I ask this commission to allow for the overriding circumstances and let the applicant move forward with getting something better in this area for the community. This building is a duplicate of one that the architect had built in Hawaii, and it has already been demolished without any of this hoopla in Hawaii. It was not recognized as significant or important. Thank you.
Jake, you are now able to speak. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, yes, my name is Jake Pierce, field organizer for Abundant Housing LA, speaking in support of the demolition. The building is unfit. Structural experts and the city of Los Angeles have determined that the Berry building is structurally unfit and likely to suffer severe damage in an earthquake. I mean, can you imagine what would happen if there were an earthquake and it collapsed and hurt somebody? There was a comment from staff that we should take it as a sign that this building is structurally sound, that it has withstood previous earthquakes. If that's part of the reasoning, I don't know why we have, structural standards in the first place and a retrofit program. The fact is we're due for a much bigger earthquake than anything we experienced in the 70s or 80s. I also think that this is an opportunity to imagine something that would be much better for the community, that would make it more walkable and more affordable. Thank you so much.
Next caller, Michael Freeman, you are now able to speak. Please unmute yourself.
Hi there. My name is Michael Freeman. I'm currently a renter in Brentwood and have lived there and rented there for over 12 years. And I want to voice my support for the demolition of the Berry building. I value history and I value monuments, but this is absurd. In the 12 and a half years I've lived in Brentwood, I saw a coffee shop a little over 8 years ago, I think. And for the last many years, it's been in disrepair. Not a single person I know in the neighborhood or anybody I've been on walks with has ever commented on the architectural value of the place or mentioned Dutton's Brentwood bookstore. We're talking about preserving a building for a bookstore that no longer exists. And all of this would not be that big of a deal if we weren't in the middle of a housing crisis. We are tired of having developments like this be derailed due to these very thin reasons like cultural heritage. This building is not something that any of us have heard of. I urge you to allow development. Thank you.
Next caller, Liam, you are now able to speak. Please unmute yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Liam. I've lived on the West Side for 4 years now, and I also am going to disagree with the staff. I think that the overriding considerations here are very obvious, that demolition is the correct course of action here. The alternatives presented by staff aren't realistic. The actual alternative to demolition is the status quo, that this building remains vacant and that San Vicente has a building in disrepair instead of commercial properties or apartments that are actually going to be used. A building that is going to be more environmentally friendly could be built. A building that is more accessible to disabled and elderly people could be built. And that's the alternative that I'm imagining for San Vicente and the West Side and CD11. Thank you.
Next caller, Stephen, you are now able to speak. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, Stephen Luftman, speaking against demolition. The Berry building made an impressive contribution to Los Angeles' leadership in post-war modern architecture, made all the more important considering the building's architect, Milton Kahi, a graduate of the prestigious Yale School of Architecture, died at only 46. It would be a grave injustice of Los Angeles architectural history to reward the current owner's own neglect by issuing a statement of overriding consideration. The building was once a center of cultural activity on the west side of the city. Rejecting this outrageous request is the first step in returning the Berry building to its vibrant future. Thank you.
Next caller, Bruce, you are now able to speak. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, my name is Bruce Pompan. I live on Saltaire Terrace, directly north and behind the Berry property. I also studied architecture and town planning at Yale, and I strongly urge the demolition of this building. My takeaway from what I've heard at this hearing is that retaining the Berry building as a historical property is not feasible or economic. The current situation of having this building remaining unoccupied, which is a status quo, is unacceptable, and it's a danger to the neighborhood. It's been an eyesore. I've seen vagrants enter the property even though it's double fenced. There's been graffiti and broken windows. A vacant lot would be much safer and open the project to future development. And I love the idea of incorporating the architectural elements of the Berry Building, which would pay homage to this historical site. So again, I'm strongly urge the demolition.
Next caller, Pamela Brown, you are now able to speak. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, Pamela Brown, Brentwood Community Council board member, but here speaking as an individual who has lived 2 blocks from the Berry Building for 30 years. I was in support of it being demolished and developed with a nice mixed use building back in 2008 and 9. It has done nothing but fall into disrepair. Please allow the demolition. I pass by it at least twice a day. I'm a realtor who, when people move into the area, they question what is up with that building. And when I say it was designated historical because there was Dunton's books, nobody knows what that is except for people who have been here decades long. So, you know, future development is necessary and important, and the city needs to support the demolition so that mixed use and housing can be created and the site can look beautiful once again.
Next caller, caller ending in 3713. You are now able to speak. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, this is Ruth. I'm an unhoused person living in the city of LA in public, and I just am so tired of seeing all these beautiful buildings fall into disrepair when they can be occupied and held vacant. All these beautiful buildings are held vacant when people could be living or working in them and restoring them. And I want to see this building not fenced off, not vacant, not falling into disrepair, but I want to see people restore it and occupy it and use it. Thank you.
Next caller, caller ending in 5540. You are now able to speak. Please unmute yourself.
Good morning. My name is Doug Haynes. I ask that this commission not recommend certification of the EIR despite the very thorough staff report. CEQA requires a finite project description, and maintaining a vacant dirt lot in one of the most expensive locations in the United States is not what I would call a plausible project, particularly in light of a prior application to develop a site that was submitted by the owner and then taken out. Without a realistic project description and accurate alternatives analysis cannot be determined that would incorporate the Berry Building. The EIR is therefore fatally flawed and should be rejected. And I'm going to point out the obvious, which I'm sure all the members of the commission are aware of because I hear this all the time. All the arguments being made by the applicant's representative can be made for any project where the owner doesn't want historic status. And I'm reminded of this in Aramadome. I heard all these arguments before. None of them were plausible. And instead, all they did is undermine the process that we have in order to keep this as a wonderful city. Thank you.
Next caller, Chris B. You are now able to speak. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, my name is Chris Bale. I live down the street from the Berry Building and work for a nearby property owner. I'm speaking in strong support of demolition. I walk past this building almost daily. The building is obsolete and extremely unsightly. It has become a nuisance to the local residents and the San Vicente businesses. This building has been a blight on the community for many years. The applicant should be allowed to proceed with demolition. Thank you.
Next caller, Matt, you are now able to speak. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, I've lived in the Brentwood community for 25 years.
really the only good thing about the Berry building was Dutton's, and Dutton's is long gone. The idea that this is just a part of some cultural heritage is really, I'm sorry, it's just pedantic. It's been an eyesore for the last 15 years. It'll continue to be an eyesore if you don't demolish it. So let's work together as a community to build something responsible and useful and hopefully beautify the neighborhood. Thank you.
Tiana Simpson for the record. That concludes our callers at this time.
Okay. I believe the council office would like to make a statement.
Good morning. President Milofsky, honorable commissioners. My name is Sean Silva, speaking on behalf of the office of Councilman Tracy Park. Thank you for allowing me to speak before you again today. I'm here to relay our office's support for the certification of the EIR and a recommendation to adopt a statement of overriding consideration for the property known as the Berry Building. As this commission well knows, we are wholly invested in the work of preserving and protecting our city's eclectic trove of historic cultural resources. From the New Bethel Baptist Church and the Arthur Lloyd Rees home in Venice, to the Venice Lifeguard Tower, to the last home of Marilyn Monroe, we have been active and thoughtful stewards of our district's history. We have considered the Berry Building site conditions and heard from the community as well. We have worked with the property owners to establish a preservation covenant that ensures the safeguarding of the site's iconic elements, including the staircases and benches. These elements are to be used in the site's future development, paying homage to the Berry Building. We respectfully request that this commission certify the EIR and recommend certification of the EIR and a support for a statement of overriding considerations to acknowledge the potential for this site to be transformed into something that better serves the community. Thank you for your time and consideration of the comments I've made here.
Thank you. All right, seeing no other public comment, hands raised. Let's close public comment for this item. Commissioners? I've got a question for staff. In Melissa's presentation, she noted several properties surrounding the Berry Building are owned by the same ownership. The owner's representative denied that. Can you elaborate on that ownership?
Yes, Melissa Jones, an Office of Historic Resources for the record. In response to that question, we looked in our zoning and information map access system known as CMIS, which shows assessor records, looking at each of the individual parcels that I highlighted on my presentation that shows that they are under the same exact ownership as the Berry Building. So that was verified.
Okay, so the Berry Building really isn't a standalone parcel of 0.6 acres. It's part of a much larger assemblage of parcels.
Those are all separate parcels. They're not part of the same parcel within the same APN number. They're different APN numbers, but they are all owned by the same entity that owns the Berry Building.
But they could be potentially lot tied into a single parcel and developed for housing, which some people, some callers have mentioned.
Yes, that's a possibility. That'd be a separate action, but yes, that could be potentially a possibility.
And possibly even subterranean parking could be accessed through one of those other parcels.
That's true. Yes, and that actually to confirm, so that footprint of the existing buildings that I showed on my presentation is actually the exact footprint of the previously proposed project. The Green Hollow Square project was proposed for those same sites. Okay. So further emphasize that those are owned by the same property owner that owns the Berry Building. Okay. Thank you.
I guess in part, I tend to agree with the 2009 commission letter. I don't think anything has been stated today that sort of leads me to believe that there's overriding considerations on this. I think what I'm seeing an example of, which is a very bad precedent for the city to start looking at, is demolition by neglect. If you let a building sit vacant long enough and don't take care of it, it will fall down on its own, which in fact led me to raise a question to staff when we had a prior meeting, which is if demolition is caused by neglect? Is that subject to the scorched earth policy? And the answer was no. But I think it's something that the city might want to take a look at in terms of not encouraging properties to remain vacant, unmaintained, and a blight on their neighborhood, and therefore causing demolition. Richard?
Yeah, good point. I was going to bring that up too, demolition by neglect. I mean, demolition by neglect is a developer strategy that helps get neighborhoods supportive of the demolition because the building has gone to hell in a handbasket. And so now you have a lot of people calling the council office complaining about the neglected building. As I said before, my office did several buildings like this in terms of adaptive reuse. And it's quite possible that this building could be brought back to its former glory. It's only been hurt by the demolition and by neglect, which has only increased the sort of the problems associated with rehabbing the building. And so I'm supportive of the staff's proposal and their thinking that we should certify the EIR and not deal with the overriding circumstances.
The arguments on the staff were persuasive for me. I'm very moved by the issue of that Commissioner Barron just spoke about of demolition by neglect, request for demolition. I'm also a strong proponent of modernist architecture. And I believe that it's one of the few, as it was pointed out in the staff recommendation, commercial modernist buildings are not very common. And we had this nomination. I was not on the commission when it was designated, but I would have supported that designation of this building as an example of modernist architecture. So I support both recommending approving the EIR and also against the demolition.
Yeah, I was interested to hear the community, and I think they're split, but I'm gonna be supportive of no demolition.
Commissioner Cantor?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that this, as a courtyard building, most of the architectural attributes are not seen by the public. What they see is the exterior, which evidently has been altered. Some of the windows, the covering of the windows, which added to its international style, have been removed. So what the public sees is an abandoned building with fences around it. And obviously that's not a welcome to my neighborhood type of a image, especially for upscale Brentwood. But it's not the building that has allowed itself to deteriorate, it's the property owner. And I feel that we are the landmark board. We are the people that have the expertise to understand what is significant and what isn't. And we are I mean, I wouldn't say the last word, obviously it goes on to other, city entities, but some of us are architects, some of us are historians. And we've looked at the report. The report, in case the public isn't aware, was about 288 pages long. To me, I think it's very clear that the deep pocket property owner has kind of thumbed their noses at preservationists, and in the process has gained support from the community, the Brentwood community, which would like to see something more attractive. And who knows what will happen someday, but right now we have to stay, I think we have to stay with the opinion that we made in 2007 and recognize that this is a historic structure that needs protection.
Thank you. I'd also like to note that a vacant lot with a chain link fence is no great contributor to the public environment. In fact, it's an attractive nuisance and will probably attract homeless tents in front of it. So I don't see that demolition is remotely an alternative in terms of improving the quality, the context of that neighborhood. Commissioners, do I have a motion on either item?
Richard Barron, I'll move that we, on the Berry Building, case number 2007-1585 at 11973 San Vicente Boulevard, that we certify the EIR and we not adopt the statement of overriding considerations and adopt the report findings.
Do you want to make that into two motions?
Hmm?
You want to make that into two separate motions?
Do we need two separate motions?
Sure.
He's saying no.
Okay. All right.
You don't. I think you might want to just clarify the language that you're recommending to the Department of Building and Safety that they certify the EIR, and you're also recommending to the Department of Building and Safety that they not adopt a statement of overriding considerations.
Well said.
Oh, Commissioner Kenner, I second.
Okay, all right.
Commissioner Barron,
Yes.
Commissioner Canner,
Yes.
Commissioner Buelna,
Yes.
Commission Vice President Kennard,
Yes.
Commission President Malofsky.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Again, next regular meeting of the Cultural Heritage Commission will be held Thursday, September 19th, 10 a.m., Los Angeles City Hall, room 1010. And we are adjourned at 11:52.